Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Black heart, black mind. Sign them black in, shining again. Hit the share button. You know why. Shout out to BGS. Thank you, man. You put that post up in the community tab about that the other post on other social media wrote, referring to the 90s in which a black man better not turn down sex unless he was ready for black women to accuse him of being gay and then black men. And nowadays, of course, the politically correct answer to that whole concern is, well, so what if people think you're gay? It ain't like it's a disease or nothing. But my answer is, if you're really not gay, you don't need that reputation because, look, women already ain't going to approach you, especially when they're attractive. So do you want men approaching you when you're not attracted to them? Because, see, from women can get approached by both men and women, which shows you that women can actually make approaches just only to other women. Go figure. But you're a dude. The only approaches you would actually appreciate are going to come from women, specifically attractive women, and that's exactly who won't approach you. So are you going to be able to tolerate the actual opposite of that, which is dudes approaching you? Yeah, what's happening with that booty? No, See, men already have to learn to live with the fact that, frankly, attractive women ain't going to approach them. But you do not turn around and tell a straight man that dudes are going to be coming at him and no women. If he's straight, that's the exact opposite of what he's going to want. He's going to get angry. He should. And frankly, I would be. I went through that as a teenager for a short time. Yeah, I was angry all the time. Till that mess stopped. I know. That stuff is true. First the sister start and then some dudes are going to jump in. A lot of black men wind up going through this at some point in their life. I was fortunate that my close friends heard about this before I did and they shut that stuff down. I was lucky. By the time I found out, it was over. I was fortunate. And I want to give a shout out to my man Pinky for leading that effort among my childhood friends. If you're hearing this, you know who you are, but I'm not going to put your real name out like that. Oh yeah, his nickname is Pinky. He didn't go into pimping, fortunately. He did go into macking, but not pimping. Anyway, let me get back to this. Listen, gentlemen, I'm going to point something out right quick. First off, let's take a look at what some of these celebrities are going through. And what this has to do with BGS IBMOR's post is this. BGS IBMOR's post, what it shows is that sisters back then in the 90s and even before then wanted to make sure that black men did not have options. So if a man has no options and he turns down drawers when it's offered, then you could say when he ain't got no other option except a dude, so he must be gay, right? Or he's into kids or animals, something like that. But by removing his options, you can then turn around and say, well, okay, he's got no other options. So when he was presented with one, he turned it down. You can kind of make that conceivably believable. You can. But let's get back to what this has to do with what some of these celebrity husbands are going through now. Andre Romel Young, known as Dr. Dre, what he's going through. Apparently, he wrote a letter. I read that he wrote a letter to Nicole while she was still married to her last husband, telling her to leave him for Dre. Why would OG Dr. Dre do that? What's his reason for doing that, Mr. Compton Crip? Well, I believe that he didn't have many options. I'll be honest. I believe he had more options than we do, but not many. I don't know why he wanted to marry, but the fact is that in order to actually have some kind of commitment or have some sort of stability, other than just a bunch of groupies who really are dangerous, to be honest. See, I think his options were either groupies, which have their own agendas, or Nicole Young. So he had options, but I believe the other options were worse than Nicole. That's why he chose her. That's my suspicion. But here's evidence. Somebody else's situation is evidence of that. Will Smith's situation. August Alsina comes out, yeah, I've been digging out Jada Pinkett Smith. Well, look, let's understand something, okay? I disagree with Dennis Spurling about this. Now, he's cool with me. Counsel, if you're hearing it, you're all right with me. I just got a different take. I think these celebrity men don't have the options that we think they have, even though they have more options than many of us do for this reason alone. Look at who they wind up with and what still happens to them. My thinking was you just can't, previously my thinking was that you can't really be alpha enough, and that's true, you can't. But I also come to understand that in addition to they can't be alpha enough, these ladies know, I think that all of them in the West are taught. Not all of them do this, but most of them actually do what they're all taught to do, which is overinflate their value. Everything good about them is better than, even the bad things about them are better than the worst things. I'm sorry. Even the worst things about her are better than the best things about him. This is that when I was talking about the undervaluing, the underestimation of men's value and the overestimation of women's value, which exists to a certain extent across cultures. I mean, men's penises have a negative value. Men have to pay to use the penis inside of women. Women collect in order to, they collect something in exchange. They're not paying to use their vaginas on a man, even though they've got libidos themselves and they've got their needs. They still don't. So you got to pay them, then you got to satisfy him in order to be a man. Her womanhood rests on pretty much nothing. But with these celebrities, I think it's not really the same as, I don't really think they have much more options, or they don't have as many options as we would assume. See, you take Will, I know that his options were limited. How do I know? He approached Salt from Salt and Pepper. The colorism crybabies cannot say that he went after Salt first. He approached Pepper from Salt and Pepper. He didn't go after Salt first. So the colorism crybabies can only commend him for what he did, but look what that led him. Okay, he shot a shot with Pepper. She didn't want him because he wasn't thug enough. Now he can't shoot a shot with Salt or with the DJ. And any other ladies that Pepper told that she did not want him, he can't shoot a shot with them because they know that somebody else didn't want him. Because remember, they're celebrities too, right? So I don't know how many celebrities knew about this, but then you take Jada Pinkett Smith. Okay, she's a celebrity. She got her own money in her own career, so she's not trying to use him. That means a lot to these celebrities because they're surrounded by a bunch of people that are trying to use them. So the few that are not are they're very, very valuable to them. So Jada Pinkett Smith comes along and she's not going to, she's not trying to use him, but why is she even willing to be with him? Well, it's plain and simple. There were rumors that she was starting it up in Hollywood. Maybe she was, maybe not. But you know what? In every case, Will Smith had to take a backseat to a thug. Tretch, probably an ex-thug, and Tupac, who had the image of a thug. You could say he had thug potential. He came up more political and Panther, but he did come up street. He could scrap, I'm pretty sure. Nonetheless, you get what I'm saying. So this is what he has to deal with. In every case, he has to take a backseat to somebody that's just rough around the edges. That's it. I don't think that he had as many options as what we would have thought. I really believe that although Jada obviously wasn't the best option, and I do think that she slept with August Alsina. I'm just speculating. I don't know. I'm just guessing. And as a Muslim, I can't come up and say she did it without witnesses, but my speculations, just a suspicion, is that she did. Nonetheless, the fact is that she was spending time with August Alsina, who's now saying he tapped that. And I don't have a reason to disbelieve him that I know of. I don't know of August being a liar or anything like that. The point I'm making is that other options that were available to Will Smith were worse than Jada. Yeah. Because remember how many options were shut down. He couldn't approach MC Lyte. She said it, got to get a roughneck. Never mind how conscious, political, and upright she is mentally, she's got to get a roughneck. Michelle A. from the IBWC, Intelligent Black Women's Coalition. Who was she running with? And let's call that what it is. It was, it was Cube. And Cube was conscious and political. But she wasn't running with Will Smith. She wasn't running with no one like that. I mean, you get the idea. So what I'm saying is that they may have options we don't have in terms of numbers, but not necessarily in terms of the comparison between the quality of those options and the quality of themselves. That gap still exists. Brothers, you already know this. You know, if you were thinking, educated, and you've got a moral compass and you're responsible, if you're one of these, these generally good dudes, the options that you do have still don't match what you've had to be. You know this. You know that you're getting constantly hit up and looked up and down and approached by the Section 8 serial baby mamas. The ones that's just trying to get their life together and stuff. Them types, trying to use you for just trifling. That's what you get hit on by. Now, the ladies will say that they get hit on by guys that ain't at their level. But in reality, you dudes, you're getting hit on by women that really ain't, they're not at your level. I don't think it changes much as you move up. By the time you become a millionaire celebrity, I'm pretty sure it's about the same thing. So what I'm saying is this, gentlemen, let's stop assuming that, what I'm saying is let's start assuming. Stop assuming that celebrities have all these options, and let's start assuming that men in general in the West, especially black men, are usually presented with options far less than what they deserve. And both in quantity and in quality, according to what women themselves say. Not according to our opinions and our wants, but according to their own words and their own complaints. And when you make this assumption, this means that we need to stop getting on guys about past decisions they've made because of, number one, the things that we men don't start our lives off knowing about women in the games they play. And number two, the options that are not available. And this is just another reason to get them passports and go elsewhere. Because if you got to deal with someone that's broke, poor, uneducated, you might as well deal with the one that's broke, poor, uneducated and go and listen to you and not squander the opportunity you give her. And that's if you got to deal with that. You may not have to. Even when you go into these third world nations, some of you go into these so-called third world nations, but you know what? Your boo thing is a lawyer. She ain't doing too bad for herself. That's just as an example. So that being said, thanks for listening. I got to go teach right now. Black heart, black mind, blackout, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual male power to the brothers that don't have that many options, specifically because Boom Shika, Bon Quisha, and Sapphire don't like it.